made of? How does a person get to be popular with lots of people and have a few close friends, too? Let's watch and see.
Please don't talk about me when I'm gone. Oh, honey, though our friendship ceases from now on. Please don't talk about me when I'm gone. Oh, honey, though our friendship ceases from now on.
Hello everyone, welcome to OSP Live, Return of the Video Games. Real quick, just want to thank our patron producers, Billy Pollihan, Mormo Zine, Raul Rodriguez, TJ Dexter, and David Bowman. As long as everyone else who's a patron, Eric Ossemacher, Will McGuire, Ghostface Biller, Tom Zambino, Janine, Randall, Delisha, Joe and Ashley, Corey, Shug, Jonathan Peck, and Justin Thulu from Digital and Dice. Thank you so much. I think it's time. Whoa. I think it's time to put our faces here. Hi. What's going on, everybody? How are you? How are you?
I'm fine. Yeah, I'm good.
I'm Tom.
I'm awake. No, I'm Kimber.
And we'd like to thank everyone for coming by. Let's say hi to everyone in the room real quick. We got Cal, Tom Zambino, Eric Ossemacher, Eric Monroe, Corey, Joe and Ashley, and Delisha. Some of the lovely people he had just brought up.
Yes, love those guys. Know those guys. Love those guys.
But I don't. There's a bunch we want to talk about. I don't want to talk about it too much. But if you've been following us on Twitter, this week is going to be chock full of gaming stuff. We got the first episode of Combo Breakers, new series that just started airing. You know what I could do? I could actually show you the schedule that I'm talking about. But that's a new series we're starting. We're doing some like fighting anime girl shooter thing, but it's a lot of fun. You should check it out. And this is the schedule. Ignore nothing tomorrow, but Tuesday we're gonna have the second installment of that. Thursday we're gonna have the next episode of From Code to Script, and if TJ stops by, we'll talk more about that. And then Friday we got the third installment. So hopefully, check all of it out. We're trying to get some more stuff on here for you guys. We're also planning some other stuff, but yeah. So
and tonight is it's the first time we're revisiting one of our old subject matters from when we first started the show.
Really old. I think it was like episode 5 or something. Like it was one of the really early episodes.
Hey Randall.
In fact, that was Kyle Goldfinch's first episode.
Was it?
I remember that. I remember the gaming episode was a lot of people's first episodes.
Yeah, it was a cool one. That was Blab days easily.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and
for
so
sure.
We got requested to have that back.
Never mind. False alarm.
So here we are, because a lot of you guys weren't part of the group at that point yet. So we're giving everyone a chance to talk about video games because it's such a beloved subject. I unfortunately am, as I talked the first time we did this episode, not the biggest video game person in the world. So bear with me as I have kind of basic and or limited knowledge of video games. But should we just get started? Who's first?
I'm pulling up the questions right now. Tom Zambino will be first. Just let us know if you're ready, Tom. And
Cal likes my shirt. This cool dude gave it to me for my B-Day. It was Cal.
Yeah, and speaking of Cal, we also have some side questions from him.
Oh.
So we'll bring those up during the broadcast, and those will be for the chat and hopefully for the comments if you're watching this after the fact. So if you're watching this and it's not live, stay tuned. We have some interactive things planned. Kind of, not really.
Mavis is here. She's extra clingy today.
She is very clingy.
Look at her. I'm trying to look at her. That's cute. I know. Corey's birthday was last Monday. Happy birthday, Corey! Belated.
It's also our friend Steve's birthday here in Austin today. We celebrated with him yesterday because we knew we had this going on today.
And one of my coworkers. So Sideshow Frank.
Oh yeah.
Happy birthday.
I think that's all the birthdays and oh God, Well, I know, Tom, you're not allowed to prepare for side questions. I was trying to do a thing. Side questions. It'll get there. People will like it. All right, I'm gonna throw the link in the.
Joe's referencing that video we sent him.
The symbol of my house.
The proud symbol of my house.
Go ahead and click on that. Look at this cute cat.
She's obsessed with coffee. She always wants to drink it. That's not for you.
She's
Nadia.
never allowed. But check out the questions in the description if you haven't had a chance yet. If you want to prep, the side questions are not in there, but you'll get over it. The first question coming up though is what was your gateway game into playing video games? And Tom Zambino, perfect timing.
Testing. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
We can hear you.
Sweet. I don't have a microphone at all. Awesome.
How's it going?
It's going. Been kind of busy lately, but been good.
Awesome. We're glad to see you for sure. Thanks for coming by.
Anytime. So video games and such.
Yeah. Speaking of the first question, what was your gateway video game that got you into playing?
Oh, that said gateway video game? Oh, I did not prepare for that right. Shit.
What did you think it said?
I thought it was what was your gateway overall? So I said I was going to say my dad because he got me a computer and downloaded the games. I don't remember the first game he downloaded. Like the earliest ones I can remember are like Shadows of the Empire and Doom.
Yeah,
and
that story was
Doom.
That story's heartfelt. Nobody wanted to hear that.
Damn the passion and feels. There's no room for that here.
Well, that's kind of funny that because my uncle Phil, who unfortunately is no longer with us, he was my Aunt Marybeth's husband, and he got me into Warcraft 2. And he burned me like a little pirated disc to play on my computer and everything like that. And that really got me into games. I remember that. I mean, I had played Mario and stuff like that as a kid, but like getting into like real-time strategy, that was a lot of fun.
I was introduced to ripoffs for the first time when I got the free Chex version of Doom in the Chex boxes. It was an awesome game. It's fantastic, but it was literally just replacing the Doom things with Chex things.
Oh yeah, you had a spoon instead of like a laser.
Yep.
Called Chex Quest.
And it was like green, whatever they tried to pass that off instead of blood.
Yeah, because they were like flubber, like little flubber. It was like a total like a Reeves skin of Doom, but like it played horrible, and
I played fine depending on your computer.
Well, okay, says a lot about my computer. Your computer couldn't play a free cereal game?
Yeah, so for mine, we didn't really have a game system in my house until we got like an N64. But before that, I definitely remember playing like a lot of Sega Genesis games when I was at like camp and stuff like that. Sonic the Hedgehog being the prominent one that I would like wait in line to like get my turn to play, and I actually got pretty good at that game and continue to be good at that game. It's just super fun and really easy to play, and you know, as a kid, it's really exciting. You don't realize how short that game is until you try to replay it now. It's super short.
Yeah, we have it here, and we played it before we moved, and we were done in like 20 minutes. Like,
yeah, I did that when they did the big re-release on computer. They had a bunch of Sonic games, and I played through like the first two, and I'm like, wait a minute, I just got through 2 games. What just happened?
Yeah, it's super quick. And I'm with Eric Monroe in the chat. He said he liked 2 because he liked Tails. I like Tails too, but I'm biased because orange is my favorite color, and Tails is like a little cute orange like fox. But yeah, that's probably the first video game that I remember playing like extensively. So basic answer number 1.
Well, you know why he has Tails, right?
Why?
Because he's a Katsumi.
Yeah, but he only has 2.
I know, he's a low-level Katsumi, all right? All right, question number 2 comes from us, Geek to My Nerds, Ashley Davis. And she asks,
Love her.
what video game helps you de-stress after a tough game?
Day.
I mean, you could play sports and have a tough game as well, but I actually haven't used video games as a de-stressor in a long time. Usually I'll just like watch TV or watch a movie or something. But back in college, I used to like after a test that I studied a ton for, or a test that I thought I bombed or did really well on, but it was just like super stressful leading up to the test. I'd go home and play Grand Theft Auto with my roommates, specifically GTA 4. Well, one of my favorite de-stress. Well, there were 2 games we used to play with each other as de-stressors. One, you enable as many cheats as you can, and you basically go up on a building and rack up 6 stars and see how long you can last before you're killed. This is going to be a running theme here. And the other game was, so in GTA 4, if you broke into the airport and stole the aircraft refueling truck, automatic 4 stars. The thing was basically a tank, but it was also the slowest vehicle in the game. So you can't cheat, but you have to drive away in that basically tank as far as you can get without being caught. I think the record was my roommate he was legitimately going there for like 20, 30 minutes without getting caught.
That's insane. Because I did that. When I hung out with my buddy Rich a lot, we would just pass the controller on GTA 5, and it was a lot of the same stuff. I would love jumping into the train, the empty the track, and I would just rack up points. But everyone was trying to catch the train the entire time. It never happened, but it made him so mad.
Nice.
For me, it used to Skyrim for sure back in the day. I don't play. I do a lot of things for the channel now. I don't really like commit to one thing, but Fortnite was doing that for me for a while, where I was building more stuff more often than successfully killing anyone. But that was or Minecraft. Minecraft's a very good distressor too. Building things.
So, I can see the Minecraft, but I'm curious about Skyrim. What about Skyrim de-stresses you and calms you?
Well, it was like the crafting and I would go and I had a character who was like minimal combat, and I put all the stats into like charisma and stuff like that, and so I would usually talk my way out of guard trouble if I had it. And
okay, I've never played Skyrim, so that's why I asked.
Oh, it's a beautiful game too, and the music's really good.
I technically have it, but I have a lot of games on Steam that I've never touched.
Oh, try Skyrim. It's fun. I'm enjoying Elder Scrolls Online. I haven't played it lately, but I was playing it for a while, and it's fun. It's beautiful, and it has good music too, and that's cheaper for anyone who doesn't already have Skyrim and hasn't played it yet.
Yeah, so for me, definitely used to be Guitar Hero. I loved Guitar Hero. That was like my jam, to just sit around and like chill and play, and like any friend could hop on and easily play the game with you. It was pretty like straightforward, and everybody has experienced it. So I used to love like putting on that game and like hanging out with friends. But my all-time favorite franchise of games, and to this day the only games that I really have any interest in playing on the regular, is Little Big Planet. I love Little Big Planet. Those games are just super cute, super fun. It's like a grown-up version of like the platformers we all grew up with, like Mario, just really elevated to the next level. Playing through the game is really fun. The more players you have, the better it is, up to 4, because then you can unlock all the puzzles. So it's great for groups with your friends. And even just going in and building your own levels and stuff is its whole own de-stressor. That can be really relaxing, even if it can get a little frustrating sometimes. But that game has so many options of things you can do to kill time, and any kind of like chill zen game like that that's really not stressful at any point is something I would want to put on to de-stress.
Why don't you talk about one of the like mobile games you play too? Because you're always
I play
finding
every
puzzle
mobile
games
game.
and stuff. And but is there like a specific one that's really good that you
I-
kept on your
honestly,
phone?
it's like I don't want to get that lame.
No.
I do
Oh,
not
I
wanna
mean,
get
people.
that
I play
lame.
mobile games.
I like
too.
puzzle games.
Yeah.
Like I'm not into like the big like Candy Crush or whatever, but I like puzzle games that reward you. Like Fishdom is this one where you like do puzzles and it gives you stuff for your fish tanks. But stuff like that, it's lame. I don't know why he's putting me on the spot.
I'm
about
not-
this.
All right.
He just wants to hear about mobile games. They matter.
That was it. I was gonna talk about Dragon Ball for a little bit, but now I don't feel like I have the right.
No, you can. I don't care.
So there's this game called Dragon Ball Legends, which was pretty cool at first. It first came out, and I was doing really well, and I took like 2 days off, and everyone was light years ahead of me. And it was fun though. If you like Dragon Ball Z fighting games and like the weird Xenoverse alt storyline, then check it out. But
So is Dragon Ball Z making a comeback? What's with all these games I keep hearing about from Dragon Ball Z? Is it back?
Did it ever leave?
Well, because people were saying that last season of Super was going to be the last thing, but Adidas just to put out like a line of Dragon Ball shoes. Toei Animation just got a new department dedicated to Dragon Ball projects. They have that Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball Super Broly movie coming out in Christmas, which is retconning the Broly stuff. So yeah, kind of.
Good for them.
Twin Peaks and Dragon Ball
Who knew?
and Backstreet Boys.
What?
Yes. Don't get me started about that. I will go on to that.
We should
What's
have-
question number
Oh,
three?
we should have a sequel to the '90s episode. That was fun.
I'm
Oh
here
man,
for
the '90s was so great.
They were like 2000s
They were the
too.
best.
They transitioned because they had the Millennium
Look.
album.
Oh my god, they did.
Yeah, it was called Millennium.
So the Backstreet
I remember.
Boys-
I had a sister.
It's the one that had I Want It That Way on it. Like that's
And
the one everyone
Millennium.
knows.
All I heard was that in NSYNC for years.
I see. We're getting off subject here, but I was Backstreet Boy loyalist. I was not here for NSYNC.
I always thought that Backstreet Boys could take NSYNC in a fight, and
Celebrity Deathmatch.
match. Oh my god, that was a Celebrity Deathmatch was my favorite show for like a year.
Question number 3 today.
We won't talk about.
We'll do an episode for that.
Oh, we've never done claymation.
I'm here
all
for
right.
it. Yeah.
Favorite long-running game franchise? This question is from the Spice Mush Joe, our friend Joe at Geek to My Nerd.
And thank you guys both for clarifying before this stream. So it confirms my pick. Surprise, surprise, of Forza. I was gonna say Assassin's Creed, but then I thought, I haven't actually finished an Assassin's Creed game since Assassin's Creed 3, and they've kind of gone lame since then. So that's why I haven't really finished it. I've gotten bored with them, but I've never gotten bored with Forza. Whether they're adding new locations, new tracks, obviously every couple of years when they come out with a new Forza game, there are plenty of new cars to play with. They always have a bank of old classic cars they can throw in at any time. So even though it can be frustrating using a controller sometimes, and I really should invest in a steering wheel for my Xbox, it's still Forza.
Oh.
Yeah, I wasn't even thinking about like sports games or racing games. It wouldn't have been my pick anyway.
That's
But
fair.
that's probably why I didn't think of them. But
Also fair.
I was gonna say Mortal Kombat. It kept leaving and going. Like I remember when Mortal Kombat, not 10, but like they were ready to be like, we're done. Like this is the end. And I think it was because the studio was running out of money or whatever. But then they collabed with DC to do that Mortal Kombat versus DC game.
Injustice.
Well, no, there
Well,
was.
they had Scorpion in Injustice, so it was pretty much already set in motion.
Yeah, well, the game I'm talking about predates it by like 4 or 5 years. But it definitely oiled the wheels to get it going, and yeah, that evolved into Injustice for sure. But just to see, it may be one of the best movie to film or game to film adaptations. The first
Not
one.
a high bar to clear.
What was that?
Not a high bar to clear, he said.
No, not at all. As anyone who may watch Thursdays from Code to Script may find out with Street Fighter. But yeah, I thought, but that's another one too. Street Fighter, our neighbor literally plays it like every day, still, and our friend Steve, whose birthday it is, he regularly plays like the older version of it. So some fighting games just have the juice to keep going. Tekken, not so much.
Well, Mortal Kombat has the advantage of being based a lot on those sort of brutal fatalities, and as technology gets better, graphics get better, graphic engines get better, there's just more creativity they have, and people eat that up.
Yeah, and they pour a lot of into story too. Like their world is very flushed out, and I appreciate that. What about you?
Pokemon for me.
I thought it was gonna be
That's
Animal
fair.
Crossing.
I love Animal Crossing as well, but I've
Pokemon's
definitely played more, and Animal Crossing easily could have been my answer for games that I like to relax and unwind with too, because I do love that game. But Pokemon is just one of the franchises that I've played most of, and just loved every time. Really, it's a similar kind of format every time, but they do find ways to switch it up and make it more interesting. I really loved when they brought it onto the Nintendo DS. I think that was Diamond and Pearl. I thought those were great games, and it was cool how they were using like the dual screens and stuff. And it's just a fun game, and I think that's why it's so well beloved even now into like Pokemon Go being such a huge hit and still played by many people that I know. That game is not dead, folks. People still play. But it's just a great, easy to play, fun, entertaining game that you really don't age out of. Like, it continues to be fun. I could play a Pokemon game right now and enjoy it just as much as any other time that I've played it. And I'd say that a lot of people feel that way. And even my brother, who's usually like a fighting game guy or even like a first-person shooter guy, that kid loves Pokemon. I've done an endless amount of Pokemon tattoos, and there's a reason that it's so well enjoyed. It's just really fun and straightforward, and has replay value for sure.
And it ages really well. Even I can go back and play Red right now and have a blast, even though it can basically run on phones and does run on phones. It's still fun.
Yeah. And Randall's saying Pokemon Go died in his heart before Gen 2 came out, but like you should really give it a chance again because the game is very different than it was, and they've done like a lot to fix the game, and it's still really fun, and a lot of people are playing again for that reason.
They've added quests and stuff, which definitely makes it feel like more of a game.
Well, even if he wasn't playing before Gen 2, it's like the raids and the
once they have PvP, they'll be done. They'll be good to go. That's still my one complaint.
I'm still catching like new Pokemon for my Pokedex on Pokemon Go. I think that game works really well and that it's still fun. And honestly, it makes my lazy ass get up and exercise every once in a while. So I appreciate that too.
That was the biggest benefit of Pokemon Go. People may have been just walking around staring at their phones, but they were walking around.
That's true. Except Valor, they were driving around my town.
Fun story about Pokemon Go. There was an easy way to slack at work back when I was at FCA, because right at one of the entrances was actually a Pokemon gym. So there were a bunch of young engineers you would see them like crowding around every once in a while, trying to take the gym or keep the gym. So it was kind of entertaining watching a friend of mine who did play it occasionally try and take or retake that gym.
Fair. Yeah. Cal saying people also got hit by cars. That is people just being stupid playing. Yeah. If you use common sense, you're not gonna get injured playing Pokemon Go. Come on now. think there was one more question.
There's one more regular question, then I might throw out one of the side quest questions from Cal. Just to throw Tom off his game. But Nolan Dean asked us, what is the best final boss fight?
See, the issue that I had thinking about this question is a lot of the games I play, the final boss fight kind of sucks. A lot of the good Assassin's Creed games, the early ones, the actual fight was almost irrelevant, and it was all about completing the story. One of my favorite Star Wars games, Jedi Academy, same way. Well, end fight was kind of fun, but in the end, it was just serving a greater purpose. But as far as an actual fight that could be both fun, challenging, and from my childhood, is the original Doom and Spider Demon. Because that guy, now as an adult, I know that it was a formula that I just run around, turn around every once in a while, shoot him, keep running around in circles, and he literally can't hit you. But I didn't know that as a kid, which I probably shouldn't have been playing Doom as a kid, but that's a whole different story, and we won't get into that today. But as a kid, it was far more challenging, and just defeating this monster of a demon where you're just tearing through demons the entire game, and all of a sudden, crap, this one's actually challenging. Not to mention kind of startling, being just like a giant head on a robot spider. I think they did that in some movie, but yeah, Spider Demon.
Cool.
Doesn't sound like a good time.
I mean, it's Doom. You're fighting demons, so
appropriate. Mine, the game already got brought up. Picture this. You spend the whole game. You have to go fight and earn badges. The first place you can go and do that's closed the entire game. So you have to go travel. You get these 7 badges. You go all the way back to your hometown. You find out that the 8th gym leader is a gangster. You have to defeat him. You go to the final 4. The what were they called? Oh no.
The Elite Four?
The Elite Four.
I blanked out
And
on
you
it
had-
because
yeah.
you blanked out on it.
And you have to go painstakingly through every single one of them just to have to fight Red at the end game, which I thought was really fun. I think he's one of the best rivals. Like, Gary is a perfect portrayal of how they did him in the game. Yeah.
I totally forgot about that one. Completely forgot. If you had the right Pokemon, you just roll over him, but I totally forgot about that one.
It depends which version you had. If you had Blue, his name was Red, and if you had Red, his name was Blue, I'm pretty sure. But
no, I've played Red, and I don't think his name was Blue.
well, you
I think it's
choose
Red.
what name you pick.
Oh.
Who knows?
No.
Yeah, who knows?
Wasn't Gary
I'm surprised Eric Ostermacher's not on here. Like,
or Randall
tell you real quick.
or Randall.
Yeah, that's a great one. I haven't. I know that Eric Monroe's concerned I'm going to take his answer, but I don't think I'm going to.
There's no taking answers.
I think I'm going to go a completely different direction. I haven't played through too many games that have a bunch of boss fights. Obviously, Little Big Planet has some really fun, great ones in itself, but I'm not going to go that direction with this. One game that really sucked me in, and I found myself playing the entire game and really enjoying it, was Dante's Inferno. While the last boss fight is going to be my choice, I don't actually think it's the best boss fight in the game, but let's backtrack real quick. You fight Lucifer at the end of the game, and it's really cool. It comes out as like this big monster, and then there's some cutscenes, and he actually, like, his chest opens up, and he walks out, and it's like actual Lucifer, and just really cool character design. And that game had some really awesome, like, style and fighting in it. Like, you have this huge weapon, so it's this cool fight on like the top of a pentacle, and just the theming is really neat, and I really was sucked into the story at that point, so it was cool to see how it ended. But I am going to give a shout out to my favorite boss fight of all time, which is also in this game. I preferred Cleopatra, who was the lust boss. She was just like some of the creepiest, coolest character design I've ever seen in any game. I do remember, like, at one point she has, like, nipples that have tongues in them, and then they open up and babies drop out of the nipples, and, like, just, like, what a unique character. There's really nothing like this in any other game that I can think of. Like, I remember even, like, the entrance to the level was, like, a vagina door. And I was like, this game is so, like,
YouTube
mature,
doesn't like that word.
but interesting, and just what a unique game. And the story obviously is something I'm interested in, so it really captured my attention, and it's completely different than any other game I really played. So it's my choice, Dante's Inferno.
Wow, that was an intense story. I was like, okay, Dante's Inferno, and then it just got weirder and weirder from there, just increasing in levels of weirdness. And I didn't know it could get any weirder from like the live nipples. Nipple shooting babies was starting to get weird, but somehow it got weirder.
Check it out.
It's a cool game, I'm telling you. Like, I would recommend it if anyone hasn't played it. It's really different.
So Eric Ossemacher says red is universally accepted name of the protagonist. The rival's name is green in Japan and blue here, but you could name him whatever you wanted.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I came up with some weird ones.
Yeah, I was a child,
You
so
jerk.
I was like,
Yeah.
whatever. Like,
I like naming my character Oh Hey, so that I'd be like, oh hey, the blah 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 blah. Hey Jack Shipley, that's our trivia overlord from fanfiction.
he missed I summoned him with the
Nipple shooting
tongue
babies.
nipples
Look,
and baby
what's
nipples.
up, OSP? Nipple shooting babies. If you're not watching this with the live chat, what are you doing? All right, so we're gonna throw you one of our side quests.
Oh boy.
Which series, I assume television series, would translate best into a game franchise? And those in the chat, feel free to answer.
Got one.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Oh, Brooklyn Nine-Nine. All right. What kind of type of game would this be?
So it's I would imagine and I would hope it would be kind of like a choose your character type thing, where you get some of the main detectives, Terry, or I'm blanking on Andy Samberg's character right now, Rosa, or any. If you could pick any of the main detectives and just go on their wacky missions, you have all their programmed in lines. I love comedy integrated in the games, so I think that would be really fun and somewhat unique. I don't think there are too many comedy detective games, so why not?
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Randall says his name is Jake Peralta.
That's right.
What do you got? I have one if you want me to go first.
Yeah, go ahead.
Supernatural, clearly.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun.
That game would be freaking awesome.
That's a good one.
Crap out of that. Like, it'd be cool if you could choose if you want to play, like, as Dean or Sam, or even John
Or
would be
Castiel.
cool. Cass. And then, like, they'd have endless monsters to fight.
Oh, yeah.
And weapons that you could go through. Like, that show is perfectly designed to
be
make a video game.
yeah.
So
And what if you could buy upgrades to the car?
Hell yeah, that beautiful ass car. Who doesn't want to drive that?
No, don't you put a hand on baby.
And the soundtrack of the game, like, it could be really awesome as a video game.
Especially if they use that season 1 music.
For sure. That great season 1 music.
All right. Series that would translate really well for the same reason. I would really like a Heavy Rain-esque Twin Peaks game.
Cool.
I think it could be really cool.
Twin Peaks has inspired a lot of games too.
I know,
so that speaks to
to able to walk into the Black Lodge and like to control, it doesn't even have to be Cooper. It could be like, even if you were like David Bowie's character, you know what I mean, and like his journey.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of his name right now, but it's bothering me. But real quick, let's see what everyone else in the chat said. Real quick, we got.
I'll be disappointed if no one says Top Gear.
Eric Monroe said Westworld, awesome choice.
Jack Shipley said Netflix is Daredevil.
Eric Austenmacher said Adventure Time. I would play that.
Cal said Game of Thrones into like an MMORPG or Witcher style game, or maybe a mix of both.
So Warcraft?
Dell said The Purge ? So I don't know if
Interesting.
she's second guessing her question, but I could see that as like.
Wait, that's Saints Row.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's what I was gonna say. Joe also threw down Archer.
We got Ashley says The Good Place for the game. That could be fun.
Love it.
Eric's giving love to the Tall Tale Game of Thrones game, which we did play a little bit.
I was just gonna say Good Place would be great as a Telltale game because it's like all about the decisions that you're making. Yeah.
And I think that's about it. But thank you everybody for answering, and feel free to leave your answer in the comments if you're watching this after the fact. Tom Zambino, what are you up to, my friend?
I'm up to working right now. I've got a whopping 2-day work week before I head to LA for the weekend, so super excited about that one. Stay tuned for the Odd Shaped blog. Eventually I will finish that article. I got my interviews all done, so it's going to be really cool, really fun. You should check it out when it eventually comes around. Oh, and they're at Rotary3 on Twitter and Zed Reviews at YouTube. Well, all that usual stuff.
Well, I'm looking forward to the blog, and yeah, whenever cars and popcorn. That's Pop Cars. Is that the name? No. If you haven't watched any of the episodes on his channel, Zed Reviews, check them out. We did one for Supernatural, and I know there's one about Bond cars and the Batmobile, so you should definitely check it out. But Tom, thank you so much for being with us.
Anytime.
We'll see you soon, buddy.
Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye. Oh, he jumped out before I could eject him. You guys are too quick. All right, up next we got Eric Osemacher. Eric Osemacher, are you ready? Are you ready for what's about to go down? In which I just asked you questions. So while we're waiting for Eric Osemacher, Eric Osemacher does a podcast with me called the Down Pilot Podcast. It doesn't air this week, but it will air next Thursday. So check it out. Eric.
All right. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Welcome to the podcast.
All right. Hey, sorry. I still had to mute the stream. So, hey, what's up?
One of us. Anyway, how's it going?
It's going good. I'm feeling a lot better knowing that our episode on IT Crowd is the most viewed video on the channel.
That's crazy. I was like, because
yeah,
it was Kim the Disney's Chillin' Like a Villain one, the villains we did, because the name of it was Chillin' Like a Villain, which apparently is like a song from the Descendants or whatever. So that racked up a bunch of views, and then a Dragon Ball video racked up a bunch of views, and then I was looking the other day, and it was just Joel holding the monitor, and I'm like, oh wow, so that's cool.
Yeah. Clearly, that means that Down Pilot is the most popular pre-recorded show on this channel.
You're not wrong. If you dislike Down Pilot Podcast, you have to watch all of our other stuff. This way,
yeah,
you can push the other content higher.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Corey says Chillin' Like a Villain was the first episode he appeared on. It's a fun fact. So first question is from our good friend Delisha, and she asked, what is your gateway game?
It's definitely very hard to track because there's different games that I associate with like different levels of me being a gamer. Like I like one of the first video games I ever played, I believe, was like Donkey Kong Country, and like I got a long history with that game. But then of course it's like the game that really got me into games, probably closer to like Tiberian Sun. My dad. Sort of similar to you. It's like my dad burned me a copy of Tiberian Sun, and I'd play that just on skirmish mode because I was no good for the story mode at that point. But then, like, the first game that I ever actually beat was Pokemon Yellow, and then like the first game I was ever actually any good at was Sonic Adventure 2. Like years later still. But it's essentially just like a hodgepodge of those. It's my answer.
Yeah. I mean, the Pokemon one definitely stuck.
Yeah, that a little bit.
All right. Well, question number 2 came from Ashley from Geek to My Nerd, and she asked, "What game do you play to de-stress?"
It definitely bounces around a lot. Probably one of my favorites to just be like, okay, I can just sit back and play this, do whatever, just throw this on, and I can just does definitely Stardew Valley, because that's just such a relaxing game. Even when you're in the caves fighting monsters, it's just so calming of a game that you could literally just, especially with like the Switch, where you don't have to actually end the day to stop the game. You could literally just pick it up and just play it and just be like, yeah, no, doing a little bit of farming. Okay, I go back to whatever I'm doing. Just every now and then, just go. Boop. All right, I'm done.
Yeah, that's what I love about mobile games too. Just pop on, do a little thing, and then that's it.
It is a lot of fun. Question number 3 comes to us from Joe from Geek to My Nerd, and he asked us. I think I have these all memorized. What is your favorite, or what do you think is the best game franchise?
Long running game franchise. I definitely have to go with Pokemon, because I've played literally the vast majority of Pokemon games. There's like a few like third version games I never played. Like I never actually played Emerald, which is like disappointing because the Emerald's like way better than Ruby and Sapphire from what I heard. But it's like I've played at least the vast majority of Pokemon games, a decent amount of the spin-offs too. I've played Mystery Dungeon, I've played Pokemon Ranger,
Pokemon Snap.
Yeah, of course. Who hasn't played Pokemon Snap? Come on.
That's such a great game for
it's like such a great like, hey, we're all just hanging around and just let's throw on Pokemon Snap and just be silly, take pictures. How that never got a version for the Wii U, I will never understand.
For sure.
That's like the perfect. The Wii was like the perfect platform to make a new Pokemon Snap, and they didn't. They just didn't.
You should write like a strongly worded email and see if it gets
like would you imagine literally being able to use the gyroscope from that to actually go around and taking pictures? Like they did in launch games of the Wii U. It's dumb. It's real dumb.
I agree.
But yeah, it's like Pokemon is like a franchise I've got probably the most overall connection to. I've literally played it for like the vast majority of my life. And pretty much I've like there are people that like started and stopped playing Pokemon games. I never stopped. I was like I've played Pokemon Go from the time it came out to now.
Yeah, for sure. And Joe is saying that it'd be really easy to integrate like Snap mechanics into Go. I would be all for that, to have like a separate.
Yeah, it's like they do have a little bit of Snap mechanics in Go. You can turn on the AR and take pictures, but only of wild Pokemon. It's a real missed opportunity that you can't take pictures with your own Pokemon. It has to only be wild Pokemon. It's dumb.
Yeah, like some sort of quest with it would be cool though. Like when that's what they're going for, you know, like the best picture.
It's like take a picture. It's like you would get like credit in like the Pokedex. Like, hey, have a separate Pokedex. Yeah, you have to catch all these Pokemon, but now you have to take pictures of all these Pokemon.
Yeah, I'm with
That'd
it.
Be pretty cool.
I could definitely see that.
Like a Pokemon Snap.
Like into Go.
Yeah.
And then the fourth question tonight, I believe, was what's the best final boss battle in a game, in your opinion?
All right, so I did kind of sort of. It's like a little bit of foreshadowing with this. I did sort of almost talk about things related to this boss fight last time I was on here for the previous OSP and chill. My answer is 100,000% the final two stage boss fight in Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, we're fighting the Bio Lizard and Final Hazard, because I consider it a 2-stage boss fight because it's the same boss you're fighting twice in a row, back to back. It's a 2-stage boss fight.
Yeah.
Because and also honorable mention to the final bosses of both Hero and Dark Side Story, where it's Sonic versus Shadow, and it's just a straight line where they're racing and fighting against each other, and it's like it's brilliant. That's how you would do a fight like that. But definitely starting with the Bio Lizard, it's probably the hardest boss fight in the game. And it's like the one thing you do as just Shadow in the in Last Story. Like everybody else helped get to the cannon's core, but this was Shadow's opportunity to help distract this thing, which is essentially a prototype version of himself. Yeah, because you go from giant lizard to hedgehog. Are the two options for ultimate life forms, if you didn't know. But probably one of my favorite parts about this, and this is something I only learned, really clicked somewhat recently. If you listen to the song that plays during that boss fight, supporting me, during the chorus, it actually has echoes to the main part of Live and Learn, which then brings me to the actual final boss fight against Final Hazard, which is by far not only one of the best final boss fights, it's probably one of the best. It's definitely the best supersonic fight in all of Sonic. It's just, there's so much great things to it. It's like, so once again, as I said last time, as Live and Learn just like kicks in, it's just like, whoa, okay, we're in this. All right, let's go. Let's fly to this thing, hit it in its weird pimple, and deal damage to it as it's shooting lasers at us. It's like, yeah, and then it's like we'll switch in between us because there's no rings out in space, so one of us can attack while the other one's getting rings, so that we can both maintain the super form. And you get different ending dialogue depending on who gets the final hit on them. Usually it's Shadow if you play it correctly, but there is actually dialogue if Sonic gets the last hit in. Obviously, you can change who it is by just going onto the other side of the lizard. But it's like the entire time it's this intense fight with one of the best songs in the entire series playing in the background. You literally can't go wrong.
Nice.
Yeah, music's very important with make like it's especially if it's a song you've heard before, you know what I mean? It's like a reprise. It's like powerful.
Yeah, they're talking a lot about Kingdom Hearts in the chat. I'm really surprised not to hear anything about that game from Tom so far.
The thing is, I really want to record it and stream it, but I know everyone else is going to be. Same thing with the Spider-Man game. So, but Jack, I hope Jack records it with his kids. That sounds fun, because it would be great to hear the reactions of like little kids being like, "Oh, Ariel," and hopefully Moana. That I'd really want Moana to have a stage. You'd be insane not to. But yeah, I have a bonus question for you.
Okay, bonus
stage.
Tafiti would be a sick boss fight. Just saying.
Tafiti, even Tamatoa would be a fun boss fight.
It's Taka, technically. My bad.
Oh, spoilers.
It is spoilers.
All right. Again, these side questions come from the Kingslayer Network. Definitely check out his content. That's our buddy Cal. He suggested this episode. So, which pop culture lead character would fare best in an MMORPG? I'm gonna pick Deadpool.
I am gonna go with Steven Universe.
That would be fun.
Yeah, it's like he's got probably the best power set to just enjoy being in an open world, because he can float,
and he has a shield.
Yeah. He's got a shield. He can do plenty of things with it, and it's like it probably. The best thing about Steven is that he talks things out.
Yes.
And like just like being able to talk things out is just like a way to interact with this whole world.
That's fair. I like that answer.
I'm taking Dean Winchester again. Dude is unkillable, and he belongs in video games.
I mean, he is unkillable. Eric Monroe says Stannis Baratheon.
Of course he did.
does. He didn't even fare well in his own show.
Delicia says the evil queen from Once Upon a Time. I haven't watched that show. Joe and/or Ashley says the Major from Ghost in the Shell. Good picks. The reason I picked Deadpool is because he would I would assume have outside knowledge and be like, okay, I need to do the quest to grind. But he would do well because he has outside knowledge of the game. I would assume.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense.
But that would be a cool if Arcade downloaded his brain into an MMORPG. That'd be a cool issue.
It's like Steven would somehow get a way to get all the warring factions to get along with each other, which would be interesting.
Yeah, that would be a lot of fun. Corey says Rorschach. That could be interesting. Jack, have a good night. Major would also hack the game. Whoever the main character is from Sword Art Online, he would do fine in an MMO.
I mean that's literally the plot of the show.
Yeah,
so
he'll do fine.
I guess, but that's kind of a cheat.
Look,
Tom cheats. Just kidding.
You brought up a rough
sore subject. No.
Why don't you tell him why?
Because I tell people that Tom cheats at board games, even though he doesn't cheat at board games.
That's my reputation you're messing with.
My coworker was like, "Oh, you guys should come over and play some games." I'm like, "Watch out for Tom, he cheats."
Then she comes home, tells me this, and I'm like, "I don't think I talked to you for 20 minutes."
Yeah, that'd be pretty infuriating, especially if you're like, I very specifically do not cheat.
But of course, the moment you say I don't cheat, you sound like a cheater. So I'm just like, why are you doing this to me? This is torture.
Because Tom wins all the time. So then when he wins, they're like,
you know why?
That motherfucker cheated.
Because I cheat.
Yeah, it's like he stacks decks even in games that don't have decks.
Yep. Yeah. I have cards, ace up my sleeve, and we're playing Uno.
You're playing poker and then you pull out a draw 4.
There it is. Yep.
Oh, man.
So, you working on anything, buddy?
Yeah. So, literally 55 minutes ago, I was on another episode of Gamer Grudge. I didn't win, but go watch it anyway because there are some great fights, especially the first one, which was what's the best doctor in video games, and I laid into Nurse Joy super hard. It's like, oh my god, there's still points that I didn't even use, and you just gotta watch it. It's a brutal beatdown. But I also on that episode announced that tomorrow at 12:30, to sort of fill the slot that you guys aren't having any video game stuff on Tuesday, I am going to stream Sonic Adventure 2 Dark Side Story on my YouTube channel. So go check that out if you can. I literally just bought a streaming device to stream in glorious 480p because that's like I'm playing the GameCube version, and that's like the capture device I had is just has not been cooperating, and I'd rather play it in progressive scan than, because Sonic Adventure 2 is one of the few games on the GameCube that actually uses progressive scan. So I'm going to use the progressive scan.
All right.
Let me tell you.
I can tell you're serious about this.
No, it is such a major difference in quality of the game. Like, you have no idea.
Well, yeah, definitely check that out. You can get to Eric's channel by looking for Bunk Bunker.
Yep.
Which is the cousin of DVD Bunker.
No, I've used the Bunker moniker for 10 years at this point.
We're still waiting on the DNA results. But like I said earlier, Eric is also my co-host or I'm his co-host. Either way,
it depends on who introduces the episode.
Yeah, we are
on this upcoming episode. I am the host.
Yes, because I picked the what we're going to be watching, which is the Revenge of the Nerds movie to TV adaptation pilot. It sounds about as good as.
Wait, did Awesome Town actually come out yet?
Awesome Town's next week.
Okay.
What we're recording.
Yes.
I can update them.
Yeah.
Head, Eric.
Yeah.
Back clause. She
Oh.
didn't make me correcting you.
You got the surprise attack on you. I'm like, because like we recorded Awesome Town a month ago and it still hasn't come out.
I took a 2-week hiatus and then tried to time it correctly with the video game week to have code script. Look, I got plans, man.
Yeah, I got you.
Real quick, welcome Sam to the chat and
Hi Sam.
Goodbye to you.
All right, bye. I'll let you kick me out because you didn't get to with Tom.
Yay! Activate ejector button. Go. He's gone.
Is Eric Monroe still here? I know that he said he had to leave early, so we're trying to squeeze you in, buddy. If you're still around, let us know in the chat.
Yes. And since I just brought up that from code to script, real quick, I'm just going to remind everybody that we are doing podcast rotations on Thursday. That means that we will have a new thing for you every week. Hopefully. I keep hitting the wrong button on that.
You do.
I don't know why. But the next one is TJ Dexter's show from Code to Script. They're going to be talking. Billy Pollihan is the guest, and they discuss the video game 2 movie adaptation of Street Fighter, which is really more like Street Fighter 2 into Street Fighter, but whatever. Oh no, spoilers while we're here, and Jack had to leave already, so this is Jack's swan song. We have an upcoming couples match coming up with Joe and Ashley, who we'll see later on, as well as April Dawn and JTE from
Screen Junkies.
From multiple things, but yes. And we're gonna have a good, clean, fun time. That's all I got on that.
And I do see Eric Monroe confirming in the chat that he's around. So
September 16th is the date of that match. I don't know what time though, but
probably the usual time, noon.
Noonish.
Mavis, if you're gonna be bad, you're gonna get kicked off.
Mavis is being bad.
She's going for she's attacking your phone.
Why are you attacking my phone? Fine. Time to go.
So let's go ahead and send an invite to Eric Monroe.
I can do that. I can't do that. Eric Monroe, go ahead and hit this link. Hopefully it works. Have a good night, Eric. This picture of JT is very distracting.
They can't see that.
It was just JT. So,
oh, Cal, I didn't know you were coming on. Cal's coming on?
Cal is on. We're just
After
getting
this?
all the fast pass people's on, and we're giving Eric Monroe an honorary fast pass.
Yeah, he hasn't been in quite some time.
And he has to leave early, so. But the order would be Eric Monroe, Corey, Joe and Ashley, Delisha, Randall, and Cal. I don't know if Tom or his name is Tom. TJ said he was working, but he did duck in earlier. So whenever we can squeeze TJ in too, he did check in. So write that little note down. There's our good friend.
Hey, what's up?
Oh no, it's the
bear with me. I'm a little medicated. Thank you for getting me in a little early. I really do appreciate it.
Of course.
Something to talk to you too. Yeah. So how you guys doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm okay. I became an uncle yesterday, which made me very, very happy. I'm so in love with the little guy. Yeah. So I'm just happy to be here.
So it was literally your nephew's birthday yesterday.
Yes, September the 2nd, 2018.
Good one.
His name is Cole. You'll see all pictures on Twitter and Instagram and stuff I'll post.
So she didn't go with Stannis, huh?
I it's funny you mentioned that. I suggested that because my brother-in-law binged the show, and he was telling me as the show was going on, in season 5, I'm actually rooting for Stannis a little bit to kill the Boltons, and then when the Shireen thing happened, he was done. I was like, I get it.
And now he's a father, so he double understands.
Yes, that's what he said. That's what he said in the hospital. He's a Jon Snow guy. He likes Jon.
Fair.
Yeah.
All right. Well, question number 1 comes from our good friend Alicia, who
I know.
may call in. I don't know. But she asked, "What was your gateway video game?"
I started gaming very, very early. My dad bought an NES for my sister and me when she was 6, and I was 4, so I'd have to say the original. It was a double game. It was 2 games in one. It was Super Mario Brothers, the original, and Duck Hunt.
Yep.
So I was playing them like crazy. I was always upset I had to be Luigi because I was the younger sibling. I wanted to be Mario, but I grew to love Luigi, to be
I
honest.
favor Luigi. Green's like one of my favorite colors.
Yeah, I grew to like him. And in the second game, I liked his abilities the most because he could jump high, but not too high. He was like the best of every character, I thought.
Yeah, I like
Except on the ice boards, not the ice boards. I gotta be like Toad or Mario on those.
I liked Peach in that game because she could float.
My sister was always Peach. Yeah. So yeah, I would definitely have to say the original Mario Bros. Game that came with NES and Duck Hunt. I was shooting away when I was little, but I didn't get in the hunting. It didn't get me in the hunting.
The dog made me so mad, man.
Yeah, that dog was annoying.
He was the worst.
Yeah. But I grew up actually liking dogs, though.
Question number 2 comes to us from our good friend Ashley, and she asks, "What game do you play to relax?"
I have to go with Halo. You know, coming home from a long day and just killing people with sticky grenades is a very satisfying, for me, relaxing feeling. And especially Halo 2. That's the Halo I definitely played the most. Me and my friends would stay up till like 5 a.m. playing that game like 10 years ago. We'd have LAN parties. It was awesome stuff. But yeah, I always had fun killing people in Halo. I found that just relaxing, rewarding. Even though I'm not a violent person in general, but video game wise, I always found it fun. So
yeah,
Halo.
when I was 18, I moved to Illinois to live with my mom for a bit, and I have 2 brothers out there. And my brother Ryan was super into Halo, as well as my brother Tyler, and we all had Xboxes. So when we didn't play because my brother Ryan was really competitive, and he played in a lot of like matchmaking and stuff like that. But when we played together, it was really chill, and
He didn't want you to screw his stats up.
Yeah, exactly. That's the kind of guy he is.
That's actually funny.
But yeah, the Halo is a good one too. And speaking of Halo, which is a long running franchise, master segue over here.
Next question.
Get like a segue like out of
that was a good segue. That was a good one.
I ruined it by bringing it up, but anyway, what is your favorite, or what do you consider the best long-running franchise in video?
I have to go with The Legend of Zelda. I love most of the games. Ocarina of Time is still my all-time favorite game. I love A Link to the Past. I won't argue with anyone who thinks that's the best in the series. That's an amazing game, but for me, it's Ocarina of Time. But I've loved just about every game. A lot of people weren't high on Wind Waker. I liked Wind Waker. I liked the graphics. I thought the shell shading stuff was cool, but definitely that series. And I thought Breath of the Wild was a very, very worthy addition to the franchise. The latest game that came out last year.
Yeah, I didn't play it, but I watched a lot of gameplay of it, and even that was like relaxing. I know that
it was fun.
Relaxing thing was the last question, but like, it's a game like Skyrim where it's so open and it has beautiful.
Yeah, and Breath of the Wild was very, very open world.
Mm-hmm.
It was the most open world game in the series.
Oh yeah, it's very cool that you like could wait till the end to fight the final bosses or try to beat them right off the bat. So it's cool.
Yeah, I explored. I didn't want to just go right after the bosses. I wanted to explore and
Smart.
build Link up and get a whole bunch of horses and all that stuff. But yeah,
You
it
didn't
was a
want to
good
just
game.
fight them half naked, like.
But yeah, I would say The Legend of Zelda, which I think would make a fantastic movie,
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
live action.
What would be cool is to do like an anthology series and tackle each game each season.
Oh, I would love that.
Because then
That is a brilliant idea.
Write me, Netflix, or whoever. All right, number 4. What is your favorite final boss fight?
Okay, so I thought Kimber might take this because I've heard her mention she likes the game, but I'm going to say the final boss fight in Fable.
Yeah.
Jack of Blades is one of my favorite villains of all time, and the fight at the end, I think it's awesome. It's a little Zelda-ish because he transforms into like a beast thing. You fight him in different forms, but it's very, very cool. If you really play through and do all the side quests and everything, you really feel like you're at the end of a really amazing journey. And like I said, he's an amazing villain. His voice is just awesome, and I love that boss fight. It's something that was severely missing in Fable 2 and 3 was a great villain, because Jack of Blades was definitely awesome. So
For
Fable.
sure, and I love those games. I really do. So I'm glad that you brought that up, because I say I don't like video games, but then I'm like, but I like a lot of
You
video.
do.
Like, it depends on the camera controls. That's
I have
the
a type.
biggest-
I have a type.
You type. That makes sense.
Like overhead.
If you have to control like your head separate from your feet, I can't play it. I never hit that learning curve.
But
So.
yeah, that's like the old school Resident Evil, like the first Resident Evil on GameCube. That kind of annoyed me. The controls.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you on that.
Those are all 4 questions, but we have a side quest for you.
Oh boy, Stannis Baratheon. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Well, I mean, he could be a contender. This side question is brought to you by Kingslayer Network. Check out all of his great content. Which streaming service would provide the best character roster for a fighting game? So you could use Netflix and
HBO Go.
Yeah, you could use HBO.
I have to go with HBO. I mean, Game of Thrones, Westworld, True Blood. If you liked True Blood,
Deadwood.
Yeah, that was a great one. Even
Sopranos.
The Sopranos. The Sopranos. Yeah, I'd have to.
Even like stuff like Sharp Objects could be like Heavy Rain type game for sure.
Is that you know what? Is that good? I haven't watched that yet.
So the thing about that show is that it's excellent. Just watch it as a binge watch though, because it's a real slow burn. But once I got to the ending, I was like, "This is awesome." I loved the ending. It paid off really hard, but it was slow to watch.
Okay, I will take your advice. I trust your taste with shows and stuff, so I will definitely check it out.
For sure.
Yeah, so I would go with the streaming HBO Go or Now or whatever you want to call it.
Netflix
HBO
is a great choice as well. Obviously, you got like Stranger Things and like a lot of great
all the
shows.
Marvel. You can Cage, Jessica Jones. Hulu has some of my favorite anime on it, and there's my Hero Academia games coming out in I think January. I think I remember. I have to look it up. Oh, I gotta go plug in the.
That's when Kingdom Hearts 3 is coming out. January.
Oh no!
Yes, it's in.
You can only afford one.
Go with Kingdom Hearts.
Do you want to tell everyone where they can find you, buddy, before you get out of here?
You can find me on Twitter at mmkoch. That's Koch, not Cooch, or every other thing everyone calls it. 200, and you can come and say hi. I will say hi back. And thanks again for getting me on early. I really appreciate it. Great talking with you both. I'll be watching from my bed everybody else that calls in to see their answers. So thank you.
Awesome. Of course, anytime. We love you. We miss you.
And I will keep you updated with everything. Don't worry.
For sure. And enjoy being an uncle. That's so exciting.
I will. So I love the little guy. Oh, such a cutie. Like me.
We will see you soon.
Bye. You can eject me.
Yeah.
Womp womp.
Ejected. And he talked during it too, just to appease me. He does like Stannis.
He's my co-champion.
He is your coach. Well, Kimber tells this story all the time, but in our live show down in Philly when she was battling for the belt, Eric Monroe was in the crowd and he was
right there with me.
He saw it in the flames. But yeah, definitely go tweet at him at Mooncouch. Okay, so up next we have Corey. Real quick, I did want to read off what everyone had said about the streaming service having BoJack Horseman brought up for Netflix. Sam brought up Oz for the HBO fighting game. That's about it. Oh, and Joe and Ashley said Hopper and Elle. Hopper would be hiding in a cabin somewhere the entire time. But let me get the link over here for Corey. So I would tell you to go check out our website, hotchipchannel.com. I mean, you can. It's still up, but I am doing some construction. So if you see like something doesn't look half finished, it's because it's not. But I'm working on it. I'm trying to get some new features up there, and I'm definitely trying to be more active on the Patreon. So if you're not already one of our supporters, you can be for as little as $1. And here's our good friend Corey.
Hello.
Hey, buddy, how's it going?
It's going fine. I'm really tired right now.
Oh, well, I appreciate you staying up and chatting with us.
Thank you.
Well, I won't hold up much of your time then. Question 1 is, what was your gateway game?
Well, I gotta tell you, this is how old I am. I went into a Pizza Hut in 1979 or 1980, and there were 2 cabinet versions of Asteroids and Space Invaders.
That's awesome.
That's how I learned. That's how I learned about gaming, and I didn't know what they were when I saw them, but I knew I wanted to be a part of it.
Yeah, I definitely, before having a home system, I remember cabinets a lot, and to the point where my my town was so small that literally the only place like to socialize was this one bar, which was super family friendly. And it was like more like a bar, like a eatery kind of thing. But they had like Road Rash, the console version where you like, and then they had I think you used a rolling thing to drive. That might have been a car one, but
Road Rash is one of my favorite racing games. That and Chase HQ.
Yeah, Chase HQ was definitely cool because the music in Road Rash was like it got you pumped, like punk.
So that's how old I am.
Well, I'm glad you're still with us. No, you're not that old. All right. So, next question: what game do you play to relax?
All right. I know this is a kind of a cliche answer, but I play Minecraft, forever Minecraft. Just because you know, there's nothing that chills you out more than having to lay a floor, or you know, lay brick for a half an hour.
Yeah, you know, I had Minecraft on my phone, my old phone, for a while, and then I got a new one, and I never downloaded it again. But I find myself where I'm like, I really wish I had Minecraft. I should download it again because it definitely, like, when you have a plan and you stick to it, and it's going according to plan, it's very zen. And then the moment one of those lurkers show up, what was it called?
Creepers.
Yeah, when those creepers show up, all your plans go out the window for a slight second, and that keeps you in it. You know what I mean? Like,
well, it's really funny that I have such a zen reaction to Minecraft because when I first started, my wife had to check and see if I was dying or something because she just hear me being quiet, and then go, ah! And
No, they do a good job spooking you. And then when you like see an Enderman and you're like, oh God, like it's yeah.
Don't look him in the eye.
The game has elements where like it's chill, but it doesn't put you to sleep. There's things going that you have to keep aware of. You might dig too far and fall into lava, like it. But it is a very chill game, and I enjoy it.
Oh yeah. I turn into a Roman road builder whenever I play Minecraft.
Oh geez.
I immediately I'm like, I don't care. Is there a hill? I guess I'll knock it down. Okay.
Meanwhile, I'm like the guy with the Hannibal with the elephant going over the hill, building as like I just build the road up.
Yeah.
All right. So question number 3 is, what do you feel is the best long-running gaming franchise?
Okay, for me personally, it's got to come down to one of them Paradox games. So for me, Europa Universalis right now is something that I play fanatically. Sometimes Crusader Kings, when I'm feeling a little bit more adventurous. But Europa Universalis 4 is something I played a lot, and I played some of the earlier games. So that game is still going. They are still providing downloads, DLC for it, and every once in a while I still try to conquer the world as China. You can't do it. I don't know why I keep trying to do it, but
challenge.
Yeah, it's not really a challenge. Your whole empire collapses halfway through the game. It's you can't do nothing. But yeah, or for different times, Civilization, that's another one.
Yeah, those are fun.
I have played Civilization in just about every form it's ever been released in. But I like Europa Universalis just a little bit better. It's way deeper.
Yeah, it's cool because like it's like when SimCity came out, it was a lot more about like having a economically functioning town and keeping but when you did Civ, it's more about like the culture and like and developing like the society, which was really cool. All right, well, final question. Who's your favorite final boss?
I'll tell you, I don't really have a great answer for this, but I will tell you the first one that I ever had, the one that affected me, because I played the original Dragon Warrior when it was out, and this is normal now. Like what I'm about to describe is normal today, but it wasn't then, and it surprised the hell out of me when it happened. Because you go and you realize you're gonna fight this little old man wizard thing, and he's gonna shoot spells at you, and you're gonna kill him. And you beat him down. You think, oh crap, I beat him down. I'm done. And he turned into a dragon, the biggest dragon in the game, and started smoking you. And I don't know, like now that's normal. Like that's so normal that you wouldn't even think about it. But it was new then.
Now this isn't even my final form.
Yeah, this isn't even my final form. I think that's where that comes from, actually. And in Dragon Warrior 4, there was a guy who you go through the entire Dragon Warrior 4 story, and it has to do with evolution and stuff. And so when that guy starts losing limbs and they start growing back, when Necrosaurus starts growing limbs back and they get bigger and more, like you kind of know that's going to happen. But in the original Dragon Warrior, it's not like that. There was no sign that was going to happen, and it made you think you were going to win right up to the last second. And it's like, oh yeah, oh no. Here's my final form.
That's cool.
And I have that great memory of childhood having that. But I know that's not the greatest boss fight, but it is the most interesting for me.
No, that's because, important.
Yeah, it changed the world. After that, you'd never win the boss the first time,
No, or even like you would encounter like some games you encountered him, but you never had a chance to fight him before. So that, but all right, well, that's all of the questions. Do you want to plug anything you're up to lately?
Well, yeah, I am. They found out at this Colorado Center for the Blind that I am a podcaster, and so now I'm on their podcast, which is called No End in Sight. you can find it on iTunes and all the different places. Come check it out. We need listeners.
All right. Yeah, I'll definitely. We have a friends list on the website. I'll update it and throw the information up there. So once
All right.
it's updated, you'll be able to find it there. And yeah, well, thank you so much, Corey. Appreciate it.
It is always nice to be on here, and thank you guys for having me.
No problem. Thank you.
All right,
Goodbye.
bye, guys.
Bye.
You can eject me if you like.
Yes, it's like Christmas. He's gone.
Ridiculous.
It's cool. All right. Up next we have Senior Joe and Senorita Ashley.
Yay! I'm always excited to see all my friends.
The X-Men arcade game was awesome.
Sure was.
We went to a comedy club here, and they had like a cabinet that had like 1,000 games or whatever in it, and I was so excited to see that the X-Men arcade game was available, and I played
And
it.
we played it, yeah.
Like because I'm always Nightcrawler, but aren't you always Nightcrawler
Yeah.
too? So it was
We
a
took
dilemma.
turns.
What am I saying?
Some season 1 Supernatural music.
Eric Monroe says he forgot to talk about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle 2 arcade game. What I find disappointing, and I forgot to tell TJ about before he recorded his podcast for Street Fighter, is that they actually made a Street Fighter the movie video game.
You got to send them a direct.
Oh no! I'll send it to Joe.
He's on Geek to My Nerd. Yeah, I guess you would send it to that anyway.
Yeah, they did. Look it up. Google it.
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
Not that.
Well, we showed you all of our prepared slides, so we don't
Do you have any bonus questions?
I have a bonus question, but I was waiting for Joe and Ashley.
One, we do one now, and then when they come in, they can also answer it.
I guess it's the last bonus question from Cal the Kingslayer at Kingslayer Network. And that's, what 4 pop culture characters would you place in your Fortnite squad?
Oh, I don't know that game.
It's essentially, what 4 characters would you put together? I already know your answer. Would you put together for a survival?
For 4 of them?
Yeah.
You know my answer? What's my answer?
I don't want to tell you in case I'm wrong.
No, I want to know.
Sam, Dean, Bobby. Probably Cass.
Sam can stay. I'll take Dean and Bobby, though.
And who else?
Survival thing? I'm always like looking at my toys. Like, speak to me, toys. Tell me who I'm bringing with me. The Doctor.
The Doctor would be smart. Which rendition?
11.
11, okay.
And Sherlock, as played by Benny.
There it is.
Sherlock?
Yes.
Okay. I'll give you my answer
Hey, guys.
later.
Hello.
How's it going? Can you
How's it
hear us
going?
okay?
You guys look and sound good.
All right, good.
Excellent.
Bow chicka wow wow.
Weirdo.
So I'll leave you guys with Kimber. And
Well, you
with
gonna do
the
the bonus
first
question
with
with them?
I will all right. Well, my answer for the bonus question. Did you hear what the bonus question was, Joe and Ashley?
No.
No, I was too busy trying to get this to work.
What 4 pop culture people would you pick to put in a Fortnite squad?
Like actually in the game or playing the game?
No, in the game, I would assume. He didn't say playing the game.
Okay. Rick Sanchez, Sterling Archer, Bob the Builder, and MacGyver.
All right.
Oh, that's a good one. Ashley?
Okay, I'm gonna pick Raphael, Sailor Mercury.
You've already messed this up.
Shut up! Joe would be mean to me. John Green, because he plays Fortnite, but he plays it the way I do, crying and hiding. You know, you gotta have someone to bush camp, and then I'm gonna put Mercutio. You know, he might bring some funness to the party.
Because Shakespeare is so relevant to pop culture.
Yes, he's a good swordsman, so maybe he could like melee combat. I don't know. He'll figure out the weapons. I can't use the weapons. It's gonna be we're gonna get like 100th place. That's what we're going for.
I would pick Goku, Superman, One Punch Man, and All Might.
So 4 Supermans.
Pretty much.
You mean Saitama and his 3 not as good friends?
Yeah. That's fair. Real quick in the chat, we'll bring up what other people said real quick. Corey said Rorschach, Batman, River, Tam, and the 11th Doctor.
Fair.
Delicia says Shuri, the Evil Queen, Storm, and the Black Widow.
Totally.
See, they're all playing to win. I'm playing to have a good time.
Eric Monroe would say Stannis, the Man in Black from Westworld, Freddy Krueger, and Superman.
See, Superman would just kill Freddy Krueger.
You can't, though. He's in your dreams.
And Freddy Krueger's magic. It's like Superman's one real weakness outside of kryptonite.
But he would really want to hurt him. And he'd go, like, find someone that had magic powers.
Actually, Superman might be happy that he's there because he can literally waylay into Freddy and it's not going to do anything to him.
It depends which Freddy origin you go with. If you go with the Freddy versus Jason, where he's a demon now, which is kind of cool because I think they kind of did that to kind of bring in the Clive Barker stuff later, but they never got that far. Who knows? Anyway, first question. Go ahead, Kimber.
I need the questions.
The first question is, what is your gateway game?
So when I was in like preschool, somewhere around there, I would spend some days in the summer at a daycare around the corner from my aunt's house because my family worked and all that jazz. Cat attacking my power cable. And the daycare I was at had an 8-bit Nintendo. And the first day I was there, they had Mega Man 2. I had my turn playing it. And when my turn was up, I started trading my snacks and that kind of stuff to get other kids' turns to keep playing it. And never looked back.
Nice. Ashley?
Yep.
All right, so yeah, I didn't grow up having a Nintendo in the early days. Even though I have like a sister who was old enough to like play Atari and whatnot, we just never had games. So it wasn't until I was about like between kindergarten and first grade where I played the first NES game, Super Mario Brothers, at a friend's house. And I was totally addicted after that. Asked for one for Christmas and got it for Christmas. And then have been addicted to video games ever since. The first games I got were, of course, Mario/Duck Hunt and the Ninja Turtles game. And then my grandmother had gotten my sister a Jeopardy game, and I told my sister that she could get her own Nintendo and play it. And then I got in trouble for saying that to her because we were supposed to share the Nintendo because it was for the family. But really, it was for me. I'm the one that asked for it.
Gift for the
But
family.
yeah, I was like, no, you have to get your own. And my mom was like, you're going to share with her that, how much that cost? Because, I was a little kid. I didn't know. And yeah, I was a little brat. So yeah, the NES.
Ashley, Secret Slytherin, standing by it. Our second question comes from you, Ashley, and it's what video game helps you de-stress after a tough day?
Joe, do you want to go first?
I will. So I'm actually playing it right now-ish, but World of Warcraft has kind of taken up that role for me because when you hit high-level play, it's just like, go do some daily quests, go do some world quests, farm a little bit of money, maybe go do some easy level quests because you need reputation. It's like simplish stuff. If I want to do something a little more demanding, I'd go do a dungeon or something. But overall, if I just want to do like daily quests and world quests, go make some money, whatever, it's so cool. It's just chill. Super chill. And I can be a dragon, or I can ride around on a rocket or a motorcycle, or ride on the back of a tornado, or whatever, man. It's all cool.
That's all you need, really, right?
I'm a dwarven shaman with a couple of mugs as hammers, and I'm feeling life's pretty great.
And plus, if you're not worrying about doing raids or whatever, then the game's not
it's
stressful
just
at all.
super chill.
No one's yelling at you if you don't party with random people.
Yeah, it's super chill.
You're talking about WoW?
Yep.
You know what's not chill? Wallet.
I mean, it could be.
It's just I wish the expansions weren't the cost of a full game every time.
They started doing a thing where basically, like, if you have been gone for a long time, if you buy the newest expansion, it just has all the previous expansions.
Don't tell me that.
Kimber's like, what's this WoW game I see on the floor?
She knows it all too well.
Yeah. The dude who taught me how to tattoo would disappear for like 3 weeks playing.
See, and that's insane. Like I have friends that were like that. My boss used to tell me, like, that's how I'd save money, was I'd play WoW. So because he would, yes, you have to buy the expansion is as much as a new game, but you're not buying an expansion but like once every 2 to 3 years. And then the $15 a month is $15 a month, he said, but it beats me going out to bars every other night with my friends and spending like $60 in drinks every 2 or 3 nights.
But we don't do that either. So
no. But like that's what he was talking about. Like he doesn't really go out. Or when he was playing WoW, he didn't really go out and do stuff when he played WoW because of that. So I'm like, hey man, whatever.
I liked it when we would play and like we'd go to your cousin's house and we'd all have our computer and it's like, yeah, let's not be social. We're all in the same house. Let's talk on WoW.
So I was saying about my mentor that he would disappear and we would all have to go to his house and like peel him out from a pile of 75 million Coke cans and cigarettes and like make him go take a shower and stuff. Like, so I was a little like, I don't think that this game is like a drug. He's like a junkie.
Yeah, I mean
that South Park about it where they're all playing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There are people like that.
I think they're on question 3.
Question 3, that's from our friend Joe.
I didn't get to answer mine.
You did.
Oh, go ahead.
Eric had brought it up earlier. Stardew Valley is like, because the music is so soothing, and like he said, even if you're fighting like monsters or whatever, that game is so like casual. You don't have to worry. Like there are goals in the game, but you don't have to do those things if you don't want to. You can just do whatever you want, so that's real fun. The other games I like to play are like the roguelike games where you could just die a million times and it actually helps you progress in the game. I'm actually playing one right now called Dead Cells that's like that. It's kind of like Castlevania / with the roguelike because there's different paths and you have to have different powers to access different parts of the map. But like
you just got to die to go back and get those powers.
Yeah, you just die and then you can spend your little cells and it's really fun.
That's cool.
I like those kind of games because it's low pressure. Because if you're terrible at games like I am, and then it's like, well, you get rewarded technically for dying, so yay.
Fun.
No pressure to be perfect.
All right.
Question 3.
3. It's from Joe, and he says, "What is your?" He asks, "What is?" He asks you, yourself, what is your favorite long-running franchise?
So there are people that probably guess what I'm gonna say, and I would imagine one or two might be right, but I'm gonna go with instead of Mega Man and instead of Zelda and instead of Final Fantasy, I'm gonna go with Shin Megami Tensei.
Oh, I was thinking Chrono Trigger.
That's not long running, bro. There's like 2 of those.
There's still hope.
Really?
Kingdom Hearts 3 is coming.
Mr. Getting his Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah, that means.
Look, we have 2 Chrono games and one of them is good.
So there needs to be a third one. All right. Well, tell me more about this game I can't pronounce.
Shin Megami Tensei got its start as just Megami Tensei back on the 8-bit Nintendo, aka the Famicom. And on the Super Nintendo, Super Famicom, what have you, is when it became Shin Megami Tensei. It is basically like Atlas's answer to like Final Fantasy and Dragon Warrior, but it's super dark. Most of the games in the core line take place in or around Tokyo. They're all either apocalyptic happening to post-apocalyptic or just post-apocalyptic. They all involve like incredibly mature themes, philosophical concepts, and it kind of also blends in a little Pokemon because the world is infested with demons, and you have to capture them by talking them into joining your party or beating them into submission until they join you. And these demons are all sorts of mythological creatures and characters. Like you can have Thor and Odin in your party because they're that kind of junk. The core line is just Shin Megami Tensei. The first two are linked. 3 was on the PS2 as Nocturne. Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne even featured Dante from Devil May Cry as a character you could get in your party. 4 was on the Nintendo DS, and 5 is supposed to be coming out for Switch. And you can find emulators of the first two on online everywhere. It's super easy to find, even translated ones, because they never came out in America. Shin Megami.
Megami.
Megami. And Tensei is Tensei. Anywho, but there are a couple of spin-offs, or a few spin-offs. There's one called like Devil Kids or something. I've never played that one. Apparently it's wildly popular. But then you can also get like the Persona series is, while not literally in the Shin Megami Tensei line, in America it's released under that line. Persona is, of course, a broad collection of games that usually feature like high schoolers solving world problems.
Fun.
Yeah. Persona 3, 4, and 5 are notorious for being like school and dating simulators plus dungeon diving and demon hunting. So that's fun. And then they got like deep into the Matrix philosophy and was Maze Runner before Maze Runner was Maze Runner with the Digital Devil Saga, which is an interesting take on the concept of like digital intelligence and life and what it means to be human and all sorts of crap. So there's just a ton in this series, and it's usually pretty dark, pretty intense, very weird. Yeah, it's a great series. It's one of my favorites.
Nice.
Sounds crazy. Yeah.
Ashley, can you beat that?
I don't know if I could beat that. I thought about a lot of different games, of course. You know, like Legend of Zelda's great. All of the different Mario games, Kirby, all of those. But the one that I wanted to go with is like the Turnabout Attorney series, which are like the Phoenix Wright, Apollo Justice games, which started out on the Game Boy Advance. Back in the day, they were Japan-only titles, and then they got translated when the DS came over, and there's been tons of little spin-offs, and like there's a Professor Layton crossover, and it's really an interesting look into the Japanese court system where like there's not a trial by jury, it's just a judge and just having to like go through the different exploration phases to try and figure out like your client, who by all accounts seems totally guilty, but obviously they're not because they're your client and you're the protagonist. And sometimes there's like really cool twists and turns and the interactions with the characters. It's really fun, and you get to do like the court simulation part and object to different things, and it's really funny. And I think they tried to like do like a little anime. Like there's also like a musical of it. There was a movie that we watched one time with our roommate that was just so ridiculous. Mm-hmm. It's really fun, but it's also one of those ones that it's like they had to like translate all of the cultural references because none of them made any sense
it's
in
like
America.
It's like if somebody wanted to make a Matlock video game.
Yeah. And in fact, I'm pretty sure they've made that joke too.
I like how you conveniently left out the part where you break into people's like apartments and like find evidence and.
Well, like in one of the later games, you break into their hearts and find their lies.
Yes.
Oh my god.
You have to unlock their secrets and just like figure out like the right line of questioning and the confrontations on the stand, and like the police officer in the game is like, how are you a cop? You are so dumb. Like, you can't figure anything out, and all the prosecutors are super corrupt, and like they're all the rich people in society, and the defense attorneys are poor, where in America that's usually the opposite. It's usually defense attorneys, because they're working in private practice, have a lot more money than the prosecutors who work for the state.
I mean, unless you're a public defender.
That's true, but not people don't wholly subsist off of that, but it's pretty fun. I like those
Phoenix Wright
games.
versus Matt Murdock.
I mean, Matt actually has a power that another character in the series has, where you can like tell if they're lying, and like by looking at or sensing different things.
Aren't they also both defense attorneys?
Yes.
Isn't Matt technically a defense attorney?
Well, I mean, this was a dream scenario I had, but in Marvel vs. Capcom 3, you can play as Phoenix Wright, and
he throws papers at people.
Nice.
And like his assistants will run in, and but it could happen in Marvel vs. Capcom, but Daredevil wasn't in that series. Question number 4: Who is, according to you, the best final boss?
Yeah.
So
this is so hard.
This was really hard because we were talking about this at dinner, and there are actually so many really good ones. I could narrow it down to 2, and I wish I could narrow it down to 1, but it's just impossible. I'm gonna go with one of them for Chrono Trigger. The final fight with Lavos is like a 3-part fight, and it just gets weirder and weirder as it goes on, and it's super amazing and intense. The actual final confrontation with what is inside of Lavos, like the core of Lavos, is got some of the coolest music in the 16-bit era of gaming. He's got this iconic roar. There's like this effect where like when you're fighting the final form of Lavos, then like he transports you to different eras that you've been in the game. Because if you play Chrono Trigger, it's about time travel. And like his abilities and attacks change based on what era you're in, and it's just such an intense, weird, interesting, wacky final boss that if you don't build up properly is going to be way harder than most Final Fantasy bosses have been. And it's such a cool fight. And from a purely cinematic standpoint, this was the one that I wanted to least mention, was the final fight in Metal Gear Solid 4 Guns of the Patriots, which is the Old Man Snake game, because Snake is creepy old Uncle Snake, and he's fighting creepy old Uncle Ocelot on top of a gigantic semi-intelligent submarine warship, but they're like fist fighting, and it's the entire final encounter starts when like you walk into a room and some ninjas are attacking you, and then Raiden shows up without his freaking arms and still fights them and takes them out, because that's Raiden. It's dumb. It's great, but it's dumb. And then you have to crawl through like a microwave tunnel as your suit is exploding off of you from the heat. And then you have to fist fight Ocelot on top of this thing. And it's more cinematic than anything else, but it's just so amazingly done. You can find it on YouTube. It's just so cool. So cool. That's the best I can do. So cool.
Speaking of lame ones, Final Fantasy X, when you literally can't lose.
That game is not one of my favorites.
But Blitzball.
I like Blitzball more than
I know
most,
you would too.
but that's not enough for me.
No, I at least I thought
Blitzball was
the story was kind of cool at the end. I liked the ending, but with
the reveal of Titus was really cool.
Yeah, but the boss fight didn't reveal.
For a Final Fantasy that has the best final boss fight, I have to give it to 7, because it's not even the actual final fight with Sephiroth, which is honestly really impressive. It's that last moment that after you beat Sephiroth, it's that little confrontation in Cloud's mind between him and Sephiroth. Mm-hmm. And the whole point is to hit Omni Slash before Sephiroth gets the chance to attack you. All the graphics are sharper than anything that's been in the game, and it's just the music is more intense, and it does this cool camera move where in Cloud's on the last hit of Omni Slash with sword overhead, the camera peers down at Sephiroth looking up at Cloud, and then cuts to Cloud looking down at Sephiroth, and then finishes the strike. And it's just this. For the PS1, it was a surprisingly cinematic scene.
I agree. Ashley, what is your pick?
This was so tough because every time I thought of one, it's like, well, there's like so many better like boss battles in the game, like especially like in The Legend of Zelda. I was thinking of A Link to the Past, where like the last boss of the Light World I felt was a better boss than when you get to the final confrontation with Ganon in the Dark World. But a really cool final boss fight that we talked about earlier, Joe and I, was in Earthbound when you get to fight Gygas. It's so creepy and weird, and like literally you can like win that game by like praying 30 times.
Yeah.
But it's so trippy, and like I really wish they would have like released the other Mother games in America, but they didn't, because I would like to have played them. But like that whole game, like it seems so cute on the surface, but there's a lot of really like seedy and creepy stuff going on in the different towns, and overall with the big bad, and the final fight is super like kind of like almost psychedelic with like the imagery that they use, where it's kind of like an old dungeon style where like the enemy's in front of you and you don't really get to see your character, but you get to interact with the like the different combat screens, and you just kind of see your attack hit the characters. And like it's like literally like amorphous, like moving around, and like people say that there's different imagery that you can look at it and make different interpretations, and it's just it's a really tough battle if you try to fight him the traditional way, but it's so satisfying when you're able to finally defeat him with your little party, and it's a really good game.
I think Gygas is just like an embodiment of an emotion. It's weird.
It's cool. I like gameplay that it like kind of like tries to break out the mold, and that definitely sounds.
That was Earthbound.
Yeah, it's a really fun game.
That game was nothing but break out of the mold.
And there was really cool mechanics in that game, because like you could call your dad and he would send you money.
Well, what it is as you accumulate money from beating enemies, you actually had to like withdraw it from the bank.
Oh, that's right. But yeah, you call your dad sometimes.
You get to call your mom if you got homesick.
Yeah, and like your favorite food like gave you like, or like whatever like your favorite food is would be available, or your mom would make it for you, and you could type in like different things, and sometimes people would type in bad things.
Very inappropriate. So,
how dare they?
All
right. High school, am I right?
That's all. That was the final question. That itself was the final boss of this segment. Do you guys have anything you'd like to plug?
Other than the occasional streaming we do over on YouTube at our channel, Geek to My Nerd, which I've been in the chat every so often. You can follow the link there. We have coming up our next episode of the BFF Book Club at the end of the month, which we're doing the book Black Klansman, which is the memoirs of Ron Stallworth that he put into a book that is now a movie. The movie's fantastic. We're excited to tackle the book. It's very short. I think like the
audio version's like 5 hours. It's a real thin book. So we're looking forward to talking about that and comparing the differences between the memoir and the movie.
Yep. And that'll be, I think, on the 30th.
Yeah, the 30th.
The evening of the 30th.
It's the last Sunday.
So.
Of the month.
That's the only real big thing we have going on right now. Other than, on the 16th being in fan friction with you guys.
Yeah. And then we need to figure out our Rocktober schedule too for all the Rocky movies, because we've said that several times, and it's like, what are we doing? Oh yeah, we should figure that out.
So,
because I've only seen like part of one Rocky movie.
Yep.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Ugh.
We should probably watch them all like this week in anticipation for the fan friction. Okay.
You watch Judge Dredd just for a good.
I like Judge Dredd. Hush. I haven't seen it since like elementary school, so it probably doesn't hold up.
So, but we'll let you go so you can get to your other callers.
For sure. Also, just wanted to let Ashley know that TJ's thinking about doing Mortal Kombat still for the next podcast if you're interested.
All right, well, just hit me up. I'm available most evenings or weekends or whatever, I would be happy to rewatch that and have a little conversation because I really love Mortal Kombat and I haven't seen it in a while, so I can't wait to see how well it holds up forever and all the graphics. Duh.
Nice.
Well, I'm glad you're excited.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching that.
Well, have a great night, guys. We miss you, and we'll talk to you soon.
Alrighty, bye. We'll come see you soon.
Yes.
This some.
Oh no! Del's here. It always holds up. I'm so sorry, Joe and Ashley. I was trying to eject everyone, and I hit the button. Moment of silence.
Yeah. Want to talk about them. We talked about Demolition Man, and then
We didn't even talk about Demolition Man. We talked about Judge Dredd.
Close enough. In my head, I talked about Demolition Man, and then it made me want to
No, there wasn't a Wesley Snipes to be seen.
Well, it happened.
Well, Felicia is ready to call in, and then after that we have Cal, and that looks like unless Janine wants to call in.
I don't think she can.
That's fine.
She said she could.
That's fine. Janine's busy.
She's at the lake.
It's fine. She's allowed to be at the lake.
Sounds like it's raining.
It does. There's a lake coming from the heavens.
3 shells, yo. See, they have my back.
There's nothing to talk about. Unless you're talking about tortilla shells.
Hey.
Let me get the link up. And Alicia, whenever you're ready, hit that. Bad Larry. So, what do we got coming up? What are we doing?
Well, we might record a thing tonight.
We might record a thing tonight.
And OS plays like you've never seen. That's all I'm gonna say.
What? Is Randall gonna be here?
I wish.
That would be great. Like Randall just knocked on the door and we just hugged him, and it was like a sitcom ending. And I was like, "Aw!" The studio audience.
Hey, Del.
Panned out.
How are ya?
Good. Trying to see if I can survive off of 18% battery.
Uh-oh.
Oh, we can do this. I love your shirt.
Oh, yeah. I thought it was appropriate.
I almost wore mine.
Oh, you should have.
She only has 18%. Question 1.
Sorry. Question 1 is what was your question? What was your gateway game?
I was trying to remember. I don't know if it's like a small set of games that like I played as a child that I remember. That's what really got me into gaming, mainly because it was mainly the only games me and my friend would play. It's 3, but they're quick. Spyro, Frogger, and this Lion King game that they had on Nintendo. Yeah, I mean, I like you, Kimber, and actually, I kind of suck at video games. So just being able to play more than one is a feat. But I just remember that Lion King game so much because we played it until it didn't work anymore, and I'm actually going to talk about it for a different question. But there was always like this one level that me in particular, just could not get over it. It was so hard.
Were there monkeys involved?
No, it was. I'll talk about it later. But no, it wasn't.
There was a difference for some reason in like the programming between the Sega Genesis version of the Lion King and the Nintendo one. The Sega Genesis one is infamous for, I think, the stage you may bring up for being super, even like crazier. But I played the Lion King one when I was younger. That was a good one. And I played Frogger all the time when I was little.
It's a good one. It's classic.
I played on the PlayStation 1. I remember the very rough graphics.
Oh my! Now it's making me think of the Rugrats game, which I don't know if that was on PlayStation 1 or 2, but those graphics are, yeah.
Blocky. They're very blocky. All right, we're probably on 16%, so we better. Question number 2. What game helps you relax?
I don't know. I think you guys hear me talk about this all the time, but The Sims. I played the game. I was actually playing it earlier before I got on the live chat. I don't know. It's just something about controlling people. I don't know what it is. You get to play God, you know, and they get to have the life that you want in your own life.
Which is just mostly just gardening for me on my Sims free play. Tom always picks on me. There's always gardening.
You have no free will. You should check out the movie. I recommend this for anyone who enjoys The Sims. It's called The Nines, and it's with Ryan Reynolds, and it's 3 shorts that all make up one movie, and it's really good. I like it.
Okay.
But yeah, Sims is fun too. Even like Sim City, when like the hurricanes would come through, like they all have like fun elements to them.
And like I was saying, Sims free play is like one of the best free like downloadable mobile games that you can get. It takes a lot of space, but it's awesome.
You know, for someone who didn't want to talk about mobile games, you brought up Pokemon Go and Sims.
I was gonna say, I guess you can also count SimCity as another gateway game because we had it as a program in one of my computer classes in school, and then that was literally my intro to The Sims, and I'm like, I want to play this game all the time. So I blame the public school system for my addiction to The Sims.
Love it.
We had one on ours called Gizmos and Gadgets, and it was like a science game where it was like a platformer, but you had to get parts and build things, and that I remember playing that. We'd be mad when we got the computer that didn't have it.
Typer Shark was mine.
And Word Muncher.
Nice.
Or Number Muncher, whichever version you had.
Question 3, battery.
Question 3. Battery.
No,
because her battery. Sorry, I was like, what is what is your favorite long lasting franchise?
Same thing, The Sims. Just because I've been playing it since Sims 2, and I haven't looked back. I mean, I was a little begrudging when they with The Sims 4 because they took away some stuff that I loved about Sims 3. But as they brought on more expansion packs, I started enjoying it a lot more. But still peeved that there's still some things in there that we had in Sims 3 that they took away for Sims 4. But it's whatever. Can't change it.
Is Rosebud still a cheat?
I don't know. I actually don't do a lot of cheat codes.
Well, apparently I'm a cheater, so I have to ask about the cheat codes.
But it's not a board game, so it's all right.
Oh, okay. All right. Fair. All right. Last question. What is the final boss that is the best?
Okay. Well, I don't know if it's the best, but it's the one I remember the most because I don't play a lot of video games. It's that last level from the Lion King. It takes forever to get Scar off of that I guess mountain. I don't know what you call it. And I feel like the game just doesn't want you to win. So they find ways of him for it to not be thrown over. It takes you almost 10 minutes to get through that final level. But it's satisfying when you do. Kill that son of a bitch.
Well, it's a weird game because there's a lot of separation from the story of the movie. Like there's like levels that have nothing to do with the story, and you're like, who are these guys?
It's the director's cut.
Yeah. Oh. Jeez. Those were all 4 questions. Do you have anything you'd like to plug?
As far as coming up, you can catch me and Cal and Tom on September, I believe, 17th, recapping Hell in a Cell for Aftermath. It's probably one of the only things I have coming up now, rather than just enjoying you guys' content because you guys are more persistent with that than I am. So you guys just keep doing you, and I'll keep watching and promoting.
Thanks, beautiful. Well, it's always great to see you, and I'm glad that we finished up before your battery died on you.
Someone wants to say hi, though.
Yeah, I was going to say there's a pupper in the house.
Say hi, Sage.
Aww.
Hello.
I don't know where. Oh. I don't know. There's Oh no.
Oh, that was adorable. Hi.
Is that Spencer?
Yeah. I don't know. Oh, there we go. Yeah.
Hi.
He's like, what is this noise?
He's like, nope.
Yeah, he was actually going behind the iPad, like he could see you guys behind it. I don't know.
Nice. All right, lovely. We will see you soon, and thank you as always.
Of course. Oh, hey, I would have been fine. I was only at 13% now.
Oh well, all right. Well, we can hang out for like another 20 minutes.
I think Cal needs to get.
Oh, all right, all right. Okay.
We love you. Bye.
Is Cal the final boss?
Cal is the final boss.
Okay. Sending Cal.
Unless Sam is trying to call in. Too. Then Sam.
Oh, Sam, were you planning on calling in? I sent you an email or whatever invite, Cal, but I can send you a link in the chat if you need it. You know?
That face.
Hold on.
The one you're doing right now.
Is on? No, I can't.
No.
I'm gonna throw the link in the chat just in case.
You should write for Cal.
For Cal.
He was asking if you sent it to the wrong one.
I don't know. Is there multiple Kingslayer emails you have? Ba-dum, ba-dum.
Yep. What is up?
Hello?
Y'all hear me?
Yes.
What?
Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Good. All right. So, question number 1. And by the way, thank you for submitting the side questions.
Oh, no problem. I always enjoy video games, so it's great to have that.
I'm glad you enjoy video games because you play a lot of them.
Yes, I do.
It'd be bad if you like, this is the worst.
I hate this.
This is I don't want to stop. All right. Well, question number 1 from Delisha asks, what was your gateway game?
Yeah, that I remember to the day when my dad brought home the original NES. Like, I remember exactly him walking up the stairs and bringing it in like a box and everything. I remember seeing it and all that. So it was definitely the Mario Duck Hunt thing that Eric said earlier. And playing Mario, and I wasn't very good at that. I watched my friend finally beat it because I wasn't really good at that. But playing Duck Hunt and putting the zapper right on the screen, like because I couldn't shoot it from far away either. So like, but that was my first video game, and after that, it just took off from there.
Nice. You've come a long way.
Yes.
That's a very iconic box though. Like I remember unwrapping mine on Christmas, and like that image is like in my head. And of course, I had Mario and Duck Hunt as well. But
I still have the box, the original. I have all my Nintendo games in the original box. Everything's mint condition. Like it's so good. I love it. I should probably try to sell it or something. I don't know.
Never sell it.
question,
Yeah, I know. I don't think I would.
how much you want for it? No. Question. What game do you play to relax?
I mean, I guess I don't really play anything to relax. Because I play games all the time, so something to relax. I'm always relaxed, I guess, when it comes to games. Unless I'm raging out and like the most I've like. Sky said it the other day. I raged out was in God of War, and I faced the Queen Valkyrie. I just kept dying. It was just so frustrating. It's on stream. But usually I just play any game to hang out. But lately it's been like a lot. It used to be Destiny a lot. Destiny 1 and 2, but now it's been Fortnite. I guess I've been playing that a lot lately, and I like just playing with. I'm big about community, so I love playing with my friends and just playing with anybody who's on that wants to play. Because I would never really play the game by myself unless it's to complete a solo challenge, obviously. But other than that, I just love getting into parties and just playing with anybody and having a good time. That's just how it is.
Awesome. Fair.
Fair indeed. Question number 3. What is the best, according to you, long-lasting gaming franchise?
I would agree. Once again, I think it was Eric again who said it. Zelda. Zelda's been the great. I remember the original Zelda, getting the original cartridge, that was the gold version of it. And obviously, it wasn't really gold, but you know what I mean, the gold colored one. And up till today, to Breath of the Wild, and all the DLC for it and all that. So that's one of the solid, consistent franchises that has continued all throughout. But if I had to choose something else, I'd also say the NHL series. Hockey is my favorite sport. So if you know anything about the sporting franchise games, they've alternated between having superior franchises, whether it be Madden, for a while, then ESPN football took the place, and then Madden went back to being Madden bought the rights to the NFL because ESPN football is doing better than them, so they bought the rights. Same thing with NBA. NBA Live used to be the big time game, and then it became NBA 2K. Now 2K is like the big time game for that. For baseball's World Series baseball and MVP baseball kept alternating between being better, but NHL stayed the same stalwart game the entire run from NHL '94, I think it was. That was they had earlier ones, like it's called NHLPA hockey, but then it became NHL '94 was the first EA solid game, and from there on for about almost 25 years coming up on it now. It's been the solid franchise, so that's why I had to say for that one too. 25 years is a pretty long time for a game to be top of the ladder for its genre.
Yeah, I have to say I don't like sports games, but whenever I've played an NHL game, I've always had a good time. I think hockey's just a cool sport.
Yeah, this one
question: who is the best, or possibly the worst?
Who's your favorite final boss?
Is it best or favorite? Because there's two different ones. My favorite, I like all the God of War battles. They're for favorites. Those are the God of War series, because those are all iconic battles. If you think about fighting Zeus, fighting Kronos, and all those, and even the new ones too. I don't want to give away any spoilers for the new one, but yeah, my favorite probably for me, I had a really good fun time playing was the Ocarina of Time, fighting Ganon at the end, because the whole tennis battle that you have when he throws the lightning at you and then you got to hit it back and he throws it at you back, the ping pong match, whatever you want to call it. And then you had to hit him with the light arrow. It's the whole mechanic of it. It's so fun to do. And then you change forms and fight him in the what do you call it? The boar or warthog form or whatever it is. And I don't know, it's just fun. And that all those Zelda games have iconic battles with Ganon usually too. So those are great too. So any Zelda, but mostly Ocarina of Time is one of my favorite boss battles.
Awesome. Well, you speed ran that
He did.
session of questions.
What about Aussie sports? I know I was reading what Sam said in the chat.
Would you like to plug anything? I know you do.
Oh, nothing, man. You guys have been mentioning me all night. I thank you guys for having me, and finally, an episode I could relate to. Usually, I'm so bad at these movie things. I feel bad because TJ asked me to do some movie thing with him. I'm I used to think I used to know a lot about movies, but when I met all you guys and see your whole family, I've know nothing about movies. You guys talk about. I'm so lost in all these conversations, watching fan fiction. I know nothing. So I'm just sit back and amazed and watch you guys talk about all that stuff. So I like watching that kind of stuff when you talk about it. I can't really participate because I don't know as much, but when it comes to maybe TV and anime and video games, I could kind of do more of that. That's what I enjoy. I'm glad to be back for this. It's awesome. I thank you guys for having this. And you guys have been mentioning me all night, so I have nothing really to say. But I want to thank you guys, and you guys have been doing a great job building the community. As I'm trying to do everything. You guys, everyone's a big community, and I love that. That's all I want to say. We have great people in the channel that talk. That do have great content, artwork, new shows, podcasts. All the people I see all on Twitter, going. I'm not that active on Twitter, but I see all of it coming out. New podcasts. And people are taking hiatus over summer, but I do see that they have new stuff in the works and people contacting me about stuff, and it's just great. Seeing it flourish from what we began. If you guys remember Blab, what we are now, it's huge. I love it. That's all I'm about. Is community. It's great. I love it.
Yeah, I mean,
I can't wait for the wedding and all that. We're getting soon.
What was that?
What's up? I'm getting ready for the wedding too. I'm excited. I keep talking to everyone about that. Oh yeah, I'm actually, I'm going to the wedding. It's gonna be awesome, and it's just so fun. I love to talk about all that kind of stuff. How we were it's a small family. I talk about when we went to Philly and all that at the house. I don't know, just meeting a family, having a family like this in a community is just the biggest thing to me, and I love it, and I really thrive in that. And I've always said that, that's all I care about, really.
Aww.
People always worry about sub numbers and all that. And I tell them, don't worry about that. Worry about who you're with, and make sure you do it together. That's how it should be.
Absolutely.
Great words to live by. Thank you so much, Cal.
Yep.
Have to let Cal give a speech at the wedding. That was really heartfelt.
I think that was his audition. He nailed it. All right.
All right, guys.
Have a great night, Cal. Thank you so much.
We'll see you in 20.
I'll see you guys in 20.
Bye, buddy. I think Sam did say he wanted to call in really quick.
All right.
And I eat some Taco Bell, because that's my Monday night jam.
Then we record a new show for you. For you. For you. That's for you from our new musical.
Odd-shaped singing.
Odd-shaped trying to sing. Hello?
Hello.
Hi, Sam.
How's it going?
Sound good. I'm glad somebody knew what I was talking about when I brought up gizmos and gadgets.
That was seriously the shit. I was in year 4 at school. It was seriously, everyone would fight over the one computer with, so we could play gizmos and gadgets.
Yeah, I know that life.
And I do have it here somewhere, but it barely runs on any laptop I try and put it on these days.
I'm just glad that I'm not crazy and I didn't make it up and think that was a real thing. It wasn't. Question number 1. What was your gateway game?
See, I've been thinking about this while I've been watching the whole show, and I can't work out what the first game I played was. I have memories of my dad was a telephone technician and worked for like a telephone company, and I used to do his iPad all these games on his computer. I remember that. It's probably like 3. So I'd go and play games on this guy's computer. Things like, the ones that's like 2 little tanks, even though they weren't actually tanks at the time. It was all pixelated things that you shoot at each other, and you got to adjust the angle and try and blow up. That's probably one of the first things I remember playing on his thing. Probably one of the first games that I remember playing is on Sega, I think, which is Alex the Kid in Miracle World, which I have now on my PS3. Paid $2 for it. So I play that every now and again, which is fun to relive childhood memories.
Nice. It's weird. I didn't like that. Question number 2 is, what game do you play to relax?
Probably one I play to relax is Group 1 Jockey. I think I've got Group 1 Jockey 4 on my PS3, which is a PlayStation 2 game. But basically, it's a Japanese series that's set in England and has all English people, where it's like a horse racing simulator where you race horses.
I think we saw that there.
Is this where like there's like a rocket horse and like?
No, it's like real life, like it's actual.
Oh, okay, all right.
Race horses.
We saw this other thing, and it was wacky to say the least.
No, it's like legitimately like you ride 14 horses over a weekend, and you have different races, and you can get like different horses that are favorites and whatnot, and then you just slowly build up and get better horses, more experienced jockey, and then in the later games you can actually breed horses, so you breed them and train them, and yeah.
Nice. That's
another one I thought of would be Hitman. Hitman is always relaxing because that's a good way to learn patience. Is have to sit there for 20 minutes waiting for a guy to walk past so you can strangle him.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right. Question number 3. What is your favorite long-lasting franchise?
This is another one where it's like I've got so many franchises I've loved for so long. Heroes of Might and Magic, Age of Empires, but I'll have to say Fallout. I got Fallout 1 when I was, I want to say about 11, and I've played basically every Fallout game since. I've only ever completed Fallout 1, I think. Oh, and Brotherhood of Steel Tactics. I played all the Fallout games, but I never seem to actually complete them for some reason.
Yeah, we tried to play Fallout on the channel, the first one, and it just ended up being a search for rope, and I don't think we would have won because we wasted way too much time. But I'm surprised Fallout, this is the first time it got brought up.
Yeah.
Joe.
I used to watch it for that one Let's Plays, and I used to get so angry having spent so many hours of my life playing that game. It's like, what are you doing? Why are you worried about rope? What is this rope obsession? Worrying about it. But yeah,
I was told I
they
needed it. Anyway,
were fun to watch.
well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Episode. Question number 4. I want a taco.
It's what's your favorite final boss fight in a video game?
See, I thought about this. I don't really play a lot of games that sort of have final boss fights. But then I thought of I am playing at the moment Far Cry 5, which brought me back to Far Cry 3. And how it did the whole fake out where you thought the final boss and bad guy was going to be this guy. And then it turns out that it's not him. I went through spoilers out there for anyone that hasn't played it. But like the guy that's on the cover of the game, you think he's going to be the big boss and he's like the antagonist throughout the whole first half of the game. And then you discover when you get to the final, it's like, nope, it's not him. And then it's like this crazy final battle where, yeah. I can't remember it exactly. I think you have sex with someone and then have to kill them.
Wait,
it's really weird as the Far Cry games. I can't remember how it works. I think it's like, I think you have sex with them and then find out they're the actual final boss and then you have to kill them.
You have sex with them, and because it's prehistoric times, they get a disease and they slowly die. That's the fight.
No, it turns into some big, weird, trippy stuff's going everywhere, and they're 10 times bigger than what they should be. And yeah, those are some weird games, the Far Cry games.
Yeah, it sounds pretty wild.
Yeah.
I could be remembering it wrong. It's been years since I played that game.
We go back, there's like no sex. I'd be like, what was Sam talking about? Meanwhile.
No, pretty sure that's in there.
All right, man. Well, that's all the questions today. You want to let everybody know where they can find you?
Well, as normal, you can find me lounging around in bed. In case Raul watching at some point, there it is.
Son.
At Sis Mary Elephant. Or Sister Mary Elephant, or whichever variation your places. Most of my game, if you want to try and find me gaming, hang on. What's my PlayStation telling me?
Cool.
Wait.
Hang on. Wait for it. It's been slow because I'm installing 3 games at the moment. It says, please wait. Look, see? Please wait. Sister Mary ELE666 is me if you want to find me on PlayStation.
Well, enter that into your PlayStation if you want to add Sam or summon the devil, and you'll have a good time either way. Thank you so much, Sam, for coming by.
No worries.
And have a great day, because you're in Australia.
That's the one.
All right,
oh, yeah.
buddy.
Have a good night.
See you guys.
Bye. And that's the show. We had some good times.
We did.
Talked about some games.
Move it along.
Why?
Because I want a food.
I think we're the only ones here.
No, Ashley and Joe are here.
Ashley and Joe are always here in our hearts. Talk to us on Twitter at OddShapePanel or
at Kimberbatch_OSP.
You can also check out Oddshape Channel on Instagram. That's channel with a CH, and check out some pictures of Mavis.
You can find me there also at Kimberbatch_OSP.
You can also do a thing and go to Patreon at patreon.com/oddshapechannel, and then maybe give us $1 a month. Help us do some content stuff. What else? Where else? There's more.
Our website?
Yeah, that's one of them. What's the website?
It's oddshapechannel.com.
Yes, it is. And if you want to get a free audiobook from audible.com, you can go to audibletrial.com/oddshapechannel and do that. I think that's everything.
Yeah, I think it is too. And thank you to everybody who showed up for the show today and everyone who's still here. We love you all. And that's it for now. We will see you in 2 weeks.
2 weeks to chill.
Bye.
Bye.